Hey, something interesting just happened. On 19th of December, Google sued SerpApi for unlawful scrapping. Now, you might be wondering that why it happened with only one provider. Why it's not happening with other providers? Even Perplexity, ChatGPT, they are also doing the scrapping. There are so many case studies out there, and they are direct competitors of Google, right? Why it's not happening with them? So yeah, we will discuss it in a while. So let's check it's what's happening. So this is a blog post which is published by Google on 19th of December, and this says that why we are taking legal action against SerpApi. You can see a few words here. It's like they mention like clocking themselves, bombarding websites with massive network of bots, fake crawling, all this stuff. Now here is a detailed documentation. Like you can see the detailed PDF that what's happening here. It's 13 pages of file where you can see what's happening, how it's happening, why it's happening. Now what Google claims is that the SerpApi is scrapping their property, like their intellectual property, their licensed property to be precise. Now, you might be thinking that internet is for everyone, they cannot scrap everything. The thing they are complaining here about is this one, knowledge panels. What they say is that we align everything, we gather the information. So that's why the results of gathered information, basically, you can say a sorting algorithm. This is an infographic which will help you even more better that what's actually happening. One more thing here which we can observe here is that Google also says that every scrap, every action against their reporting is going to cost them legally somewhere between $200 to $2,000 to $2,500, which means every scrap, like they did over 1 million scraps daily, so which is going to be billions. They cannot pay the billions of, and the report also says that 25,000% increase in the time. And not only that, they says that the company SerpApi legally claims themselves that we publicly solved the search guard. Okay, by the way, there is an algorithm which was introduced by Google called search guard in January. The way the search guard is going to work is to stop the bots from crawling web page. So what they did is they publicly claimed that we finally found a way to solve the issue, to bypass the search guard. Maybe they modify the article, but this is the most relevant article which I'm able to find on their website, which says that now Google requires JavaScript. So the search guard is very closely relevant to the JavaScript. The same thing was mentioned in the official documentation. You can go here and read it for full overview. But basically, this is how it works. The JavaScript is disabled. Google is showing all this information. So Google claims that after enabling the search guard, they claimed that we publicly bypass the search guard, purchase our service, we are able to get this stuff done. So what I'm thinking here is that it's not the reason that they are crawling something, they are showing off something. It's the reason the rate of the scrapping rate, you can see, constantly improving. 25,000% of improvement in a span of 2 years. That's a lot. That's really a lot. That's why it's happening like this. Now, okay, now let's get to even more interesting point. That what do you think? What action they might do? You might be assuming maybe the service is down, or maybe they gave an apology to the court or something. No, that's completely opposite what they did. If you go to the SerpApi's page, like go to the pricing page, you might see a new option called non-US legal shield and US legal shield. Basically, they're providing insurance. Like now they are completely against Google, and they say that we are providing the legal scrapping services and we will still do this and we will legally do it. And it's legal according to the First Amendment, a US First Amendment, which is freedom of the free speech. Internet is free. Okay, before going through that, let me show you something interesting. Willie Mays. This is the exact example which Google showed on the report, on the documentation. Here, Google claims is that you can see this first image. This is the exact image which Google used to refer in the court. Now, they claim that this first image is being crawled by the SerpApi, and can you notice the tiny title which is licensed by Google? That's the exact title which they are worried about. That this image is licensed by us. They are crawling this image. This is property. Now, they might be taking information from maybe any third-party sources or any other thing, but they are not claiming information about this or even these websites and that websites, because it will just get them in the trap. They're only worried about this image in the documentation. So basically, imagine if this image is not here, then Google cannot provide this sample, because basically they don't own any property. So you can say this is the way their way of presenting stuff. This do something, who's gonna care? So that's what is happening. And not only this, what they also did is that they also mentioned like scrapping of Google My Business reviews or Google Places or Google Maps search results. GMB profiles, all these data, even shopping results. They mentioned the shopping results also. So this is a very, very interesting stuff which they did. It's just mind blowing for me that just for one image, you are just using one image just to someone else. So that's the context about the sample. Okay, let's get back to the insurance part. Yeah, this is also very interesting. So they added no US legal shield and US legal shield. So when you go to the detail page, which they have, like they said, like they are giving up to $2 million of coverage. So what's happening here? They are literally saying to us that, dude, if you purchase a basic plan, we are not going to provide any legal shield. They are using the same lawsuit for their sales and marketing, and they says that purchase our protection or big data plan, and we will provide you a US legal shield. And they even have a visual demonstration for this. That any government is coming to you saying that you scrapped the data illegally, we are going to give you $2 million as a coverage. So instead of fighting with Google in the court, they are like, we are doing right. Whatever we did is right. It comes under First Amendment, and they are able to do this kind of stuff. So that's the major part which happened here. And one last thing, the interesting question, why Google is not able to through the ChatGPT, Perplexity or any other services? Because they are not selling anything, like they are not claiming anything legally, publicly, that the information they get is from Google. Even you can reverse engineer the APIs. Maybe they are doing something in the back end in a very hidden server, but it's not public. Like they are not claiming anything that we are doing any illegal stuff. Yeah, you can say it's just a wrapper which is hidden, like what's under the wrapper. Nobody is able to figure it out. That's how it is. Until they come to the public and say that we are legally doing it, Google cannot sue it because they don't have any way. Like providing a search results that, like you can see, I searched this and Google results are this. They will just say something like maybe it's a coincidence. So that's the story till now. Let's see what's gonna happen. Thanks for watching. See you in next video.